Hi everyone, it's Tess from teachwithtess.com. How are you today? I thought in these very strange times that we're living in at the moment, there will be a lot of you out there who are considering different ways of earning money if you can't do what you normally do. And as a result, I think a lot of you may be thinking about how you could get into teaching online. So I thought today I would talk you through the application process and the mock interview process of Wales English, which is who I work for. Now, first of all, when you're considering teaching online, you need to be sure that the company that you apply for is the right fit for you and that you have all the requirements that they are looking for. At the moment, it is March 2020, end of March, nearly April. There are a lot of people out there applying for jobs, and I know for a fact, for instance, that Wales English at the best of times tends to look for the very top teachers, and they are being very picky at the moment. So it's not that easy to get through the initial application stage and then onto your interview. So I thought it would be really helpful to give you all the tools you need to get through these processes. So number one, are you the right fit? So do you have a degree, BA Honours, BSc minimum? Do you have at least a 120-hour TEFL or a TESOL or a CELTA? Do you have the ability to teach a minimum of 8 hours in their peak time? So this tends to be between 7 and 9 p.m. Beijing time during the week, and then between 9 and 12 in the morning, Saturday and Sunday, and 7 to 9 on Saturday and Sunday in the evening. So that's quite important as well. They are only after native speakers, and you have to come from either the USA, the UK, Canada, Ireland, Australia or New Zealand. If you're not from those countries, unfortunately you can't apply, they won't accept you. The other thing is that they are looking for really inspirational teachers who want to grow with the company as well. So all of these things are really important that you can tick boxes for, firstly. Secondly, so assuming you've got all of those and you can say, yes, what do you do now? Well, obviously, I have a referral link underneath to help you with this. I coach people through it. I do Skype chats and will send you information to help. But what you need to do is to go onto their website and click apply. And then you fill in all the details and you will get to the upload CV section. Now, this is really important. Please, please, please have a look at your CV. If you want to use me as your referral link, then I am more than happy to look at your CV. I've taught and worked in education for about 20 years, so I've seen quite a few CVs in my time. It's surprising how many people don't realise that actually this is a real company and a real job, and it is a teaching job, and they may put too much stress and emphasis on things they've done that really aren't linked or relevant to what you will soon be doing, hopefully. So really go through your CV and ensure that everything in it is geared towards working online for instance, Wales English. So that's really important. And then the other thing is obviously they ask for a photograph. Now make sure that you look professional and employable, and remember you are going to be out in front of all the parents in China, so you need to look like, you know, they want you as part of their team. So just think about those things, they're really important. So that is the application stage. When you've gone through that, they will send you back a response fairly quickly, in a couple of days maximum, to say whether or not you've got to the next stage, which is the mock interview and interview. So, 2. What do you have to do for this? So let's assume you get through the stage of application, you are called for a mock interview. Fantastic, brilliant, and now the nerves kick in. So what you have to do is to think of the following things. First of all, they're going to give you about, I think it's about a 15-20 minute conversation interview. So, you know, they're going to ask you, why do you want to work for Wales English? Now, I highly recommend you don't say it's because you can teach in your pajamas, or you can just work from home and don't need to go out and ever do anything else, or do you want to travel around the world? they may be the reasons that you want to do this job. Certainly is one of mine, although I don't teach in pajamas, I have to say. I like the traveling element. I love the freedom that you get from it. However, what they want to hear is that you love children, you love teaching, you're passionate about what you do. They want to see you are really somebody who can add value to their company and their teachers. So really keep that in mind. It's far more valuable for you to say, you know, I've been teaching for X amount of years, I absolutely love it, I've decided I want to change the way I teach, and I'm really excited about the opportunity that online teaching can give me. I've done my research, I've looked into various companies, and Wales is right at the top because of X, Y, and Z reasons that you may have found. So I think that is really key. Make sure that you're selling yourself to them and that you are targeting them. So that's all the conversation part of the interview. The other thing they want to do is to get to know about who you are. So, you know, be ready to talk a little bit about your interests, you know, how you got into teaching, or the sort of things that you love doing when you teach, and how you engage children. And, you know, it is a real interview session. So that's that part of it. And then you get to the mock interview. Now, the mock interview, so they will send you slides that you will have to teach using Zoom. I think there's about 5. It's a short lesson. They will send you something that you will then have to consider the level that you will be teaching at. And it depends on the slides. Again, I can help you with that. If you use my referral link, I am very happy to look at them with you, and we can discuss what sort of level we are talking about. So make sure when you're organising your mock interview that you think of the fact that there is a person opposite you, an adult. So you're going to have to be teaching a grown-up and talking to them as if they're a student. It's a bit odd, but it's fine. You just get into it. The sort of things that they will be looking for you to use in your lesson. Well, first of all, they want to see how you teach. They want to make sure that you're somebody who gives as many opportunities as possible to the child to speak. So think of questions that you can ask around the slide you're getting. Really important. Some good questions. Extension. Have some props ready as well, because you don't have to go and buy anything. You certainly don't. But if you have kids and you have the occasional animal or something, I've got my owl. Owl is a key part of all my lessons, and the kids absolutely love him. But have something that shows how you would use props in a lesson. The third thing you need to do is to be full of energy. I cannot stress that enough. It's really strange how a screen can flatten energy. So, you know, you have to be using your body and movement to ensure that you can transmit the sort of energy that you'd use teaching. You really do. This is so important. Part of that energy is using what they call total physical response. Now, I will do something separate on that, but that is using your hands, your face, your body to help a student understand what you're trying to communicate. And it is not just you doing the movements, but you're trying to get them to copy you. So I will say something like, oh, what can you see in the picture? Well, I can see something. It's that sort of thing. So TPR, as it's known, is also very, very important, and they look for that. What else do they think of? Now, hold on, I am just considering and consulting my notes to make sure I tell you everything. Yes, the other thing that they want you to do, now you'll be using Zoom, ensure that you use annotation, because it really helps a child if they're supposed to read a word or talk about something or identify something. You can use annotation to help guide them, because they're looking for effective guidance. The other thing that you need to be able to do is to keep within the time. Now, you have a 10-minute interview. 10 minutes goes like that. And you can have lots of ideas of things that you want to bring into your class that day. But, you know, you have 10 minutes and they are going to cut you off if you go too far. You know, you get 30 seconds, maybe a minute, maybe, but they are likely to cut you off. So practice, 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 practice. and practice again, and try and get everything you're aiming to do within that 10 minutes. So timing is really important. TPR is really important. Energy is really important. Correct pitching of your lesson. So if you're saying I'm going to be teaching a 7-year-old who can read relatively fluently, that they're, you have to target that sort of level. The other thing obviously is they want you to be professional, they want you to have a good attitude. All of this needs to come through in your interview and your mock class. What else can I tell you? Right, the other thing you need to do is that maybe not obviously, but your student will make mistakes purposefully to ensure or to see and check if you and how you correct them. So correction is an important part of teaching, we all know that, but how you do it is also very important. If somebody is reading and it's just a little tiny mistake, you could either wait till they finish the sentence and then say, oh, that was nearly right, but and then you annotate. Maybe you could underline a word that they didn't pronounce properly, or you may think that it's worth reading the sentence and then having a gap, and then they can fill in the word as that they probably know how to say, or whatever. So think about the way you correct, because they will be looking for that to make sure you do correct and how you do it. The other thing is, know those slides that you'll be teaching. Go through them, as I said, practice them. How are you going to transition between one slide to another? And as I said before, get those questions, get the questioning. How am I going to elicit the responses I want from my student? How am I going to get them to talk as much as possible? So I say as little as possible, because the student talk time and teacher talk time, as you should know, is sort of about like that. So I think that is globally what they will be looking for in a mock interview. Just my last piece of advice for you on this is just to be yourself, because you can't pretend to be somebody else. Be yourself. That's the last thing I'm going to say as a piece of advice. Just be yourself, be happy, and actually, no, it's not the last piece of advice. The other thing that they will want you to do, if you possibly can, is to ensure that you bring in external either video or photographs or content to enrich the lesson. So if you can do that, you can screen share. For instance, when I did my interview, I brought in a video of a dog jumping into a swimming pool, because I think one of the words was swimming, something like that. So did that. And lastly, one thing I didn't say right at the beginning is that you need to have good tech. So when you have your interview, whatever you do, make sure that your internet is reliable, quick enough to teach and use the platform that you're using. If you don't have good internet, if it falls out, then that is obviously going to be a real problem. So I hope it's been helpful, my little insight into the Wales application and interview process. Once all of that's gone through and you've done your interview, you should find out very quickly whether or not you've got the position. And I will make another video on what comes next. So I'm just going to say thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy my videos, please remember to click on the like button below. If you would like to apply to Wales and you'd like some help with the process, as I said, my referral is underneath. And please subscribe so you can get the other videos that I make on a regular basis and try and do every week. But times are a bit bizarre at the moment, so that doesn't always happen. Thanks so much. Lots of love and stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye.